Hey, hi. Thanks for tuning in on this one. I'm super excited to talk to you about the Bobcat study we are getting ready to jump right on into. So, welcome. If you're new to me and you have just scrolled by and somehow managed to find me, hi. My name is Stacy. Everyone calls me Stace, Mama Stace, whatever. I live out in Gold Canyon, Arizona with my husband Jay, and this past year developed, if you want to say it that way, nonprofit called the Desert Nature Alliance. We're getting ready to seriously start studying the bobcat population on this property. So I thought I would do a video and talk about what we're getting ready to do, what I'm hoping to find out, what I'm looking to study. I've got pictures from our trail cam here that we got developed last night at Walgreens, so haven't seen those yet. And I'm excited. I'm excited to actually have physical pictures of the bobcats instead of just all online and technology. So like I said, welcome. I'm glad you're here. If you're watching me on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button because it does matter for the algorithms. But other than that, if you're watching me elsewhere, hi. So we moved out to Gold Canyon, like I said, about 5 years ago. And prior to that, I had worked for the Phoenix Zoo, not as a keeper or anything like that, as one of the experienced guides, and I would go around and talk about the animals. So a little bit of background about animals, wild animals, from working for the zoo. So when I moved out here, I noticed immediately that I felt like the population of animals on this property in particular seemed to be quite a bit. Now, why would my property be any different than anybody else's property, right? We have 3 acres out here. We're tucked up next to the Superstition Mountain. We happen to be right across the street from part of, well, there's a lot of golf courses out here. So there's part of golf courses that kind of are popped in and out the way they build the golf courses out here. So right across the street, we have, I want to say it's 4 golf holes that are right across the street. In addition to our location, we are up on a hill. There are washes, natural washes from the mountain that when it rains comes down and flows almost directly into the golf course. So when we moved here, the animals were wandering up and down through our property very casually. This was not new to them. This was definitely something that was on their normal routes. So at first, it was the coyotes that we saw, the javelinas. Okay, that seemed relatively normal. And then one day I'm in the I want to say the living room, and I see a very large cat walk by the outside of the window, and I see the white dots on the back of its ears, and I see some stripes, and I'm like, oh my God, it's a tiger? What did I just see go by? Until my brain registers that it's a bobcat, and it's a decent sized bobcat. From there, randomly we would see, but I cannot say regularly, a sighting here, a sighting there. We've been here 5 years. So a handful of times visually seeing these animals led us to say, I think that we need some trail cameras. Let's take a look at really what's happening, especially since we know these animals are nocturnal. Now, I want to give a huge amount of praise to the help that I get in doing this from Jay, from my husband, Jay. I am not the technological end of this nonprofit whatsoever. I am more the animal. I go more the animal. That sounded bad. Sounds accurate. I'm the one that goes out, finds, cleans, does all of that stuff. But when you put me in front of a computer, you kind of lose me a little bit. And that's why you've noticed with these videos, I do one take. We don't do editing and stuff. I just don't have those skills. So when we decided to put cameras, we decided to put cameras on the property. I needed help immediately. And Jay has been instrumental in helping me get to where I am now. We have 2 cameras on the property, one that we keep in a stationary position, that's the camera number 1, and then we have another camera that we move around trying to find out the different routes these animals are taking to get on and off the property. Like I said, we are up on a hill, got 3 acres. They're coming at us from all different angles. We're curious on what is happening. So it went from first observation to more observations, photography, video. Now we've got trail cams. we started seeing the usual suspects. We started seeing the regular patterns that were happening. So I started taking down. I have my notes all sitting over here. So started taking down the notes from what we were witnessing. So it's scary a lot of times when you're pulling up a trail cam, a night cam, to see what is wandering around your property. Whether it's a human or a wild animal or whatever it is. So every time we pull these cameras up, it's like, oh, what are we gonna find? At first, it was coyotes or nothing, or a javelina or part of the javelina herd, nothing to be too disturbing. And then the first cat sighting that we had on the camera. Now I'm going to go back and I want to say, okay, so that for us was 2019. It was in March. It was the 16th of March. It was the first time on one of our trail cameras we caught one of the bobcats. We're super excited. I'm sure it's online everywhere. Oh my God, we have a bobcat. And from there on, we continue to try to keep track. Now, these cameras do fail. They have issues, use a lot of batteries. They'll get set off by things, by car lights, all kinds of different things. And so, right in the beginning, I couldn't say for sure this is exactly what was happening because it wasn't consistent like that. And from my background, from working for the Phoenix Zoo and volunteering for programs like the Black-footed Ferret program, where it's crucial that you write down exactly what time and temperature and everything else that happened in order for them to examine, those that have the intelligence in the background, to examine that data and go, okay, this is what needs to happen, or this is what is happening. So I am grateful. I can't even begin to tell you, grateful of the education that I learned either from just the zoo or in particular working for the ferret program, where the details matter. We're writing things down and charting things down, and you start seeing the patterns of what is happening or what all of it. So that's what my instinct was, is okay, the coyotes are interesting for sure, but trying to identify it's easier in the daytime, and I actually can see them in the daytime and have videoed them quite a bit in the daytime. The javelinas, oh my goodness, good luck on individual identification on those guys. We're gonna watch the herd, and we're gonna watch the number of individuals that come to the water hole. Now, at our trail cameras, we have a water bowl sitting there. And again, I'm going to shout out all my praise to the help that I get from Jay. Jay helps set up these cameras, brings in the footage all the time at me with the on the computer, helps fill up these water bowls, and so it's very much a part of allowing me to continue to study and do some of the other studying we are doing for the Alliance. Why I'm making videos is there is a lot going on out here that we are actively studying, and are looking for more help and grants and that kind of thing. So this is an easier way to explain what exactly we're doing. So for the bobcats, as this heat is ramping up at us, and we are looking at triple digit heat solid for a week, pretty much what feels like out of nowhere. It's been in the barely hundreds. The temperatures now are telling us we're going to sit in the 112 to 115 range for at least a week solid. We've had no rain. Do I think that this is going to affect the animals? Well, of course, I do think that it's going to affect the animals, and we're going to be watching it. Are we seeing more frequent visits to the water hole? Yes, we are. So at this point, I said we have to start doing more of a serious study. It's this larger picture that we all need to really be looking at, that we know that there's problems with the environment. We know there's all these things. The studying has to happen. What effects are taking place? I mean, the desert, it's getting hotter. How are the animals adapting to this? What are they doing? Are they choosing to stay close by this water hole? They know that I'm going to continue putting water in. Are they going to go across the street, go to the golf course? How are they going to behave in this? So that was a lot of the questions that started happening, saying, okay, we would like to do a study. We're going to write down the times, the temperatures, the frequency, but I needed to know, am I seeing the same bobcat or am I seeing multiple bobcats? From working at the golf course across the street, both myself and my husband worked there for a year across the street. There's a significant bobcat population out here. especially on the golf course, because the food supply, the water supply, the shade, it is abundant. So you have a nice, a nice bobcat population over there. There's also mountain lion over there that I have seen videos of. I have seen pictures of. I have not witnessed personally. I have people that have showed me. Look, I have seen. So we have large cats in this area, along with a population that keeps booming, human population that keeps booming, animal population that keeps booming. I've asked some of my friends that do still work at the zoo that are still very involved in animals, whether we're across the board, what controls a large bobcat population? Um, so that's some of the things that I'm looking at here. The overlapping of territories. Can I tell if I've got multiple males, female? What do we have going on? We have not seen babies on this property. I have seen baby bobcats over on the golf course. I have seen bobcats in the daytime on the course as well. So very interested in the bobcats, their behavior, how they're adapting to the heat, how they're adapting to this extra population boom that's happening out here, all the above. Now, I hadn't taken a look at these pictures yet because I was excited. I don't know if they translated well from the computer over to being into print. So I'm going to open them up in front of you. What I want to do is I'm going to start putting these pictures across the board and see if I can start telling any difference between one bobcat that we've seen from another. Is it just one that has grown taller? We have one that looks a little thicker? All of those things. So this will be the board that I'm going to be putting them on, and then have it up so it's something we can stare at and really see if we can start seeing any different anything that can help me identify the different individual animals, individual cats that are coming. Sorry, hard to get those words out. You know what I'm saying. So I'm going to be using this board, hopefully using these pictures. What we did was, and I'm going to say we again, Jay, thank you, because I can't do any of this stuff. Let's be honest. I mean, here's a picture of a kitty. Once we got all the pictures off the camera, they get downloaded into the computer. He's got them in files for me. I was able to go through each one of the days that we have seen the bobcats and pull out the best picture from a night trail cam on a moving cat to see if we could get some identification for them. Now on the videos, we probably do have some better movements on them, but that's going to take a little bit more time of sitting with the videos, editing. Again, that's something else I'm going to be doing. So let's see what we've got in terms of our pictures. So I'm super excited. Hopefully there's some good stuff here. There should only be about 16 because we had like 16 sightings, most of which we're really catching, I'm going to say this year, the beginning of this year, since we put in a second camera. The second camera that we got is a little bit higher quality. It seems to be doing the job better. So it's on the main tree. So that's camera number 1. And then the camera number 2 that we have some issues with, that's the one that we still move around the property. If anybody would love to donate cameras, donate batteries, absolutely. If you're one of those people that makes those cameras or sponsors them, I will talk about them all day long. I will tell you people about your cameras forever if you'd like to send me some. Absolutely. The more eyes on the property, the better. So that's what we're looking for. Like I said, if you're in that category, if you want to donate, if you'd like to help fund, what I'm looking for is the support of the continuing to study the bobcats that are coming through this property, identifying the individuals and then watching their behavior through the heat, through any of the change with the amount of population growth. I live on this side of Gold Canyon that is not incorporated, so larger pieces of property. We're not in one of the housing groups, but we are noticing that the property is getting bought up rapidly. There's a large piece of property across from us that's on the wash, so I'm not surprised it hasn't sold quickly. That is a high traffic zone for the animals, so I'm going to be very curious if somebody actually buys it and then what the animals do. In terms of leaving that area, the javelinas definitely use a section over there as one of their main hubs. The coyotes, the same thing. So, and then obviously we have the bobcats going through. If new construction continues to come in, how are they going to move around? How are they going to adjust? So again, these are some of the questions that we're looking at, and that my study is becoming more and more serious as we go. So at the DNA, yes, we watch a lot of things here at the Desert Nature Alliance for sure, but I think the bobcats are something we're definitely going to take a little bit more of a sharper look at and continue watching to see what's going on. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so, well, and I won't show you all. And like I said, I don't have that technology. We're going to put all these clips up here. I'm going to put some of the pictures down here. Later, I'm going to be laying them all out and seriously looking and taking some notes on them. Go back to the videos. You can find the videos on the YouTube channel. You can find them Instagram. I wouldn't say so much on Facebook. Maybe the Desert Alliance has a Facebook now on its own page, but it's not as full as the Instagram. So you have Desert Nature Alliance on Instagram, and you have Oso Stace on YouTube. We're in quite a few places at this point. So yeah, you can find the bobcat pictures there. One of the other dreams is to have a stream. So when I finally can get my actual official building, I'd like to have video where I've got running streams of these, like, you know, the videos of the bobcats coming, the videos of the coyotes coming, that kind of thing. So yeah, I've got some plans if you're if you're interested in what Stacy's trying to do. And no, not on a large scale where hundreds of people are coming. Absolutely not. What I am building and continue to build is more of a personal way to educate that is available to everybody. But not all of us want to be in some massive building we don't learn that way. Not all of us learn that way. Some of us learn differently. So that's what I'm offering. Okay, so this is one of the first pictures that we have. This is the type of quality I'm talking about. I'm not going to bore you with all of that. And then so in the same night, we got the close-up shots as the cat walks by the camera, and then you get the further away shots that have some of the bodies. Like I said, these are probably not going to be translating as well here. As soon as I get the board put together, I'll do a full picture or video so you guys can see it that way as well. I'm super excited, like I said, to see it. I think almost immediately. This picture right here stood out to us immediately because of the size. Let me see if I can get it up here without getting it. There we go. Look at the size of that cat. That's a thick kitty right there. That is not the same body shape that we have been seeing. We're also interested in possibly putting sand down underneath where we have the cameras. I can rake that, and then we can see if we can get the paw prints, because we'll be able to learn a lot with the size of the paw prints that are out there. So it's a really neat evolution that's happening. I'm excited to learn more about the bobcats. I think I have a basic knowledge of the animal itself. I would like to dig a lot deeper, learn a lot more. Something else that I find completely fascinating out here is that obviously I find parts of animals all the time because of the type of environment that we have in the property and the amount of desert, and you just go hiking into the washes and stuff, and unfortunately you find these animal parts. That is why I developed it, and it is now officially a museum. It's in this, yeah, I'm so proud of that, and a nonprofit, because there is just too much valuable education in the things that I was finding. And of course, I talk about this in other videos. Don't expect to go find full skulls like that. That's either something we've cleaned up, somebody's donated parts and pieces. Like, you're staring at a lot of work behind you and a lot of just at-home education. So do not tell yourself that you can't learn at home. There's so much value in the natural world around you, and that should be shared. So as I was finding these pieces and saying, okay, there's all this education, what glaringly sticks out to me in an environment that we know has tons of bobcats, I don't find remains of bobcats. I don't find coyotes on the road, and I don't take all those. I've had one. We find them in the washes. You find parts of them. You find, a coyote that's been mangled somehow. Javelina all the time because they're part of the food chain. Bobcats, nope. 5 years worth of looking out here. I can honestly tell you, I don't have a part piece, none of it. Not that I'm aware of. We have this one little thing that we were like, I don't know if that's a house cat, baby bobcat, I don't know what it is. But it definitely wasn't something identifiable. I don't have those pieces. So that's something else I'm quite curious about is, again, okay, of course, all animals pass away. there's a food chain. I'm not sure who all is above the bobcats out here, but again, we're not finding them deceased. You don't find them hit on the road. Mm-mm. Interesting. These cats seem to be doing well out here. I want to say that the food is abundant. We have the rabbits, we have the birds, and the golf courses. Again, that is your food supply. We don't supply food to the animals out here. Some water. There's a big thing of water by a camera. They're out figuring out their own. If you can hear that going above, that's a shout out right there to the helicopters that go back and forth for the fire that's happening. God love you all, and I hope we get the fire taken care of. So, yes, I lost track of that, but those helicopters that go across for the fire department. So, anyway, so back to Bobcat. So we'll be studying the Bobcat. How long, I can't give you. At least what we'll do, at least updates. I think it'll be an ongoing study. I don't think there's a point A to point B, because I think it's something that is going to continue to evolve, and we're going to be watching it like that. So if you're interested, if you know things that I should be knowing, or people to reach out to and all that kind of stuff, definitely put it in the put it in the comments and all that kind of stuff for me. So thank you for spending the time. Like I said, I did not go through all of this. This is a huge stack. Let's go to the back, because I think some of these, the better pictures, are sitting back in here. Let me see if I can find one or two before we go. Yeah, I got some Bob Kitty stretchings. But this is one of my favorites. I loved this picture. I was looking up, and let me see if I can get that in there for you. So yeah, I'm gonna find all the personalities out there, and see if we can identify some bobcats. I will not name them. You're not going to hear Stacy calling one, this is, Joe or whatever. No, no, no. No, it might be one that's called Two Stripes or something on the ear, but no, I won't be naming them. They're not pets. These are just, we're going to try to see if we can figure out who is who. So again, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting the Alliance. Check out our website, check out our pages. I'll be showing you more soon. Talk to you later.